When Kia released the previous generation Cerato in 2009, it was a car that was so deeply impressive that it made a lot of people realize that Kia wasn't just another Korean brand, and that they can make cars that are deeply impressive. And following on from that, now we have the new Kia Cerato. Bigger in every direction and completely redesigned inside and out, Kia aren't exactly sitting back and resting on their past achievements. This car is a serious assault on its bigger and traditionally more favoured rivals, and it's another model that'll have a lot of people driving past those rivals' showrooms to put their orders in at a Kia dealership. And even if you aren't ordering one, you'll want to go just to have a look at it. The Korean brand sent their German design director to their American design studio to create this thing. And even though there are a multitude of cultures and languages in that equation, when it comes to design, they obviously understand each other perfectly. The Cerato's big brother, the Optima, was designed by the same guy, and where that can look a little fussy and over-designed in parts, this thing just looks great. From the LEDs in front to the slightly oversized taillights, it's far more interesting than the competition. I'd even go so far as to say it has a little style, or as much style as one can have in this class. The interior is where things get really impressive. This is the top-of-the-range SX, so the only option left on the list is a sunroof. The comprehensive spec is wrapped up in good plastic, interesting textures, and a driver-focused setup. The cabin of the Cerato is comparable in every way to the best on the market, and in a lot of ways is better than more popular models. Bizarrely, while they've chucked in top tech like keyless entry and a reversing camera, and they've included good design and proper comfort, they still refuse to equip their radios with RDS. There's good legroom in the back, although taller passengers probably won't appreciate the sloping roofline. Walk up to the Cerato and you appreciate the styling. Get in and you're wrapped up in this impressive interior. And then when you get going, it's kind of back to earth. The 2-litre motor is the least impressive thing about this car. It's still good for 118 kilowatts and 194 newton meters, and it will do 200 kilometers an hour, but it somehow just doesn't feel as special as the rest of the package. Around town it's responsive and it has no problem on the open road, but it's about as good as any other 2-litre engine, even though Kia says it has the best power in its class. Mind you, they also say it has great fuel consumption, although they haven't published any figures in their press stuff or on their website. To be honest, it could have below par fuel consumption and I wouldn't care because the ride is so good. All the mechanical bits feel solid, your interactions are all positive, and it gives you something that not a lot of cars in this class can give you, and that is a sense of enjoyment. I had a few cars to choose from during the time I was testing the Cerato, most more expensive, more powerful and more luxurious, but I found myself more often than not reaching for the Kia's key. There's one other thing, this car's got hidden talents, and it starts when you push this button. It calls up a firmer setting for the steering, and ordinarily I'd say that was a gimmick, but when you start driving this car in a sporty way, you begin to find that it enjoys being driven harder than you might think a family saloon might enjoy being driven. The 6-speed manual is blessed with a shift action way above its calling. The ordinary 2-litre motor still manages to deliver power right through the revs, and it handles surprisingly well for a car designed to live a life destined for school runs and family vacations. I like this thing a lot. The thing about cars in this class is that they're ordinary, everyday things. They're easy to overlook. But Kia has used that blandness to good effect. They've created a car with a better drive, more comfort and better style than any of the competition. And at 280,000 Rand, the Cerato doesn't just match the usual suspects, it beats them all. The naturally aspirated 2-litre motor delivers decent power in any situation and doesn't mind being driven harder than you might expect. The new Cerato carries on where the old one left off. Great styling, a well-kitted and well-designed interior, and a good drive make for a class-leading package.